Alright, today I want to talk about the Sasquatch Genome Project. Now, I started doing my research here car went by. I came out here this morning early to do this, and there's a lot of noise out. Every dog on our street's been barking, and a couple of roosters crowing, and train going by way off in the distance, so there's a lot of noise. So I started my Bigfoot research back in 2019, around the end of September, October, right around there. So I haven't really been doing this that long. It's been 4 years now, that right at 4 years, or going on 4 years now that I've been doing this. So I wanted to cover this because they did the Sasquatch Genome Project back in 2013, and that was before I ever even heard of it, or back then I never even heard of that or knew what was going on with that. So I started doing this in 2019 myself, just because I wanted to know the truth, if these beings were real. The TV shows they were showing on TV, they never showed anything, but yet we had all the people seeing them and sightings and a lot of stuff on Bigfoot. So I wanted to know for sure if these were real. So I got out and started doing my own research, and it didn't take long to find evidence. The evidence is easy to find, it's everywhere. I started using my tracking skills, my hunting skills, and it was easy to find evidence doing that. Footprints, hairs, tree structures, working with audio, getting all kinds of audio. That's our dog Chloe there. So hopefully the background noise isn't too bad here. But I want to show y'all something. I want to cover this from Scott Carpenter's book. He covers the Sasquatch Genome Project really good. And this book of his here too, he covers it really good in this book. But I'm going to read you a little bit. His newest book here that I've got, I'm going to read you a little bit of it and show you some pictures of it here. Alright, so I'm going to move the camera so that you can see what I'm showing you up close. Okay, so this is Scott's book. Alright, so I want to start off here with talking about Dr. Melba Ketchum. Alright, so in 2009, 2010, the TV show Destination Truth, starring Josh Gates, brought a hair sample back from Bhutan after finding a possible Yeti footprint. The producers of the show chose Dr. Melba Ketchum of DNA Diagnostics to perform DNA analysis. And Dr. Ketchum did not believe that the creature known as Bigfoot existed, but she agreed to run the analysis anyway. So Dr. Ketchum didn't even believe in Bigfoot. And what she found astounded her. The mitochondrial DNA tested human, but the hair was not human. Dr. Ketchum remarked the hair visually is not human. It's coarser than horsetail hair. When Dr. Ketchum compared the sequence to GenBank, GenBank is a database of millions of DNA profiles, both animal and human. And then here's the resource, the source she got it from. She could not find a match, so Dr. Ketchum remarked, there are literally millions of sequences in this database, and we're really shocked that it didn't match any of the species exactly in the database. Alright, so So David Pollard started this genome project, and Scott Carpenter helped him with it. So Scott Carpenter helped him with it, and he found Dr. Melba Ketchum to do the study for him, to help do the study. So David Pilates and Scott Carpenter, they collected a lot of DNA, and they had a lot of other researchers collecting DNA as well. And Scott covers a lot of this in his book here. Well, I'm just going to go through a few things here and show you what happened here. Alright, so the DNA team. So Dr. Melba Ketchum, she took most of the brunt of all this when she put this out. But this was a whole team. So this was the whole team that she had working with her with doing the DNA study. Dr. Andreas Holzenberg, Director, Professor, Department of Biology, Professor, Biochemistry and Biophysics, Microscopy and Imaging Center, Texas A&M University. Dr. Holzenberg has published over 30 peer-reviewed papers. So the peer-reviewed papers, that's what scientists do. They'll publish a paper and put it in for peer review and have it published in a journal of their findings. And that's what Dr. Melba Ketchum did with her team, along with David Pilates and Scott Carpenter. And alright, so the next person, the second one on the team, was Fan Zhang, PhD, bioinformatician in the Academic and Institutional Resources and Technology at the University of North Texas Health Science Center. Alright, so the third one, Dr. Pat, I can't pronounce that, Wojciech, Director of the Shreveport Laboratory of the North Louisiana Crime Lab System and the technical leader of the DNA section. He has been employed at the crime lab since 1977. So these are all doctors and PhDs that were actually on the team that helped Dr. Ketchum. Dr. Thomas M. Pritchko of Wayne State University in Michigan, a molecular biologist with a background that also includes evolutionary biology, microbiology, and biochemistry. Dr. Douglas G. Toller, clinical pathologist at Hugh Gilley Memorial Hospital in Fort Worth, Texas, for the past 30 years. His specialty also includes anatomical pathology. He is a graduate of the University of Oklahoma Health Sciences Center. Miss Elise Watts of Integrated Forensic Laboratories in Euless, Texas. Alright, so I'm not going to read all this. I'm going to go through the rest of these. And David W. Spence, Trace Evidence Supervisor with the Southwestern Institute of Forensic Sciences. Sarah Bollinger, Ray Shoulders and Ryan Smith of DNA Diagnostics. And then he goes through all the laboratories they use. They did a lot of blind studies where they just sent the hairs, and they had hairs, they had blood, they had skin, where they sent them all to the different laboratories and universities, and didn't tell them what they were looking at. And these were all places that they used for crimes and lab scenes or crime scenes. Alright, so so there was a misconception that Dr. Melva Ketchum processed all the samples in her facility, which she didn't, because he describes all of the places here. So the origin of the DNA samples was withheld from the laboratories. So he lists all the different laboratories. So I'll take pictures of these and add these in here too so you can see them. Okay, and he talks about contamination too. A lot of people were saying that because they came out as human DNA, human female DNA, that they were contaminated. But these were not contaminated. They wash the hairs and in the process. So they wash the hairs when they're doing the process here of this. All the different laboratories and stuff do that, and there was no contamination because they get the DNA from inside the hairs and the hair roots. So anyway, Scott goes through all this in both of these books. He goes through it really thorough here. So in both of these books he covers this, the mitochondrial DNA, which tested as human female, and the nuclear DNA, which is to show the father. The father was, they couldn't find a match, so there was no match for the father, and that was in the gen bank, which is they got millions of DNA samples from everything in there. And he talks about this BLAST as a software engine that helps them find the DNA that they're looking for. So anyway, I wanted to just cover this and show you that when I started doing this, I was doing this just for myself, to find out the truth for myself. And like I said, I started finding all kinds of evidence. And I found and showed all kinds of evidence. I've got pretty decent photos of these beings on my channel here and in my different videos. And the evidence is easy to find. Alright, so I went from just going out there looking for these on my own, and with me and Winnette looking for them, and looking for evidence, just so I would know the truth myself. And then now I'm starting to, now I've changed to where I'm showing this to everybody. I'm showing everybody that there's plenty of evidence out there. These beings are real. I'm getting them on thermal camera. I'm getting them on camcorder. I'm getting them on GoPro. I'm getting them on the iPhone. And I was getting them on the other phones I was using before that. Alright, so I just wanted to cover that with you and show you all that, because I'm sharing the truth more and more as I can. So these are just a couple of the books that talk about stuff like this and the truth. These are from Scott Carpenter. And you can see I've got all kinds of pages marked where I can go back through and look at stuff. Like the hairs. I've been doing research on the hairs, and they show what the human hairs look like and what the Sasquatch hairs look like under the microscope. And I've been looking at that too, and checking that for other people as well. And I've got more to go through, so I've got a lot of footage to go through, thermal footage to go through. I've got a lot of audio to go through. The audio has been the hardest for me to do, taking the time and having a quiet place to listen to it. but I got a lot of audio to go through and share more of that. I got more thermal footage to go through and share that. So I'm going to keep sharing a lot of stuff with y'all. Alright, so here we are sharing the truth. The truth is out there, it's easy to find. And I wanted to share this and cover this because this is important. The Sasquatch Genome study with Dr. Melba Ketchum and her team of scientists and PhDs and doctors, and David Pilates and Scott Carpenter and quite a few other people she had working with her. And Dr. Ketchum didn't believe that these existed until the one guy, Josh Gates, brought that hair back from Bhutan, and she checked it for him. And then after she started doing the study, she had people take her out, and she started actually seeing these beings for herself and had sightings. And now Dr. Ketchum is also doing a dogman study, a dogman DNA study. And they have actual DNA from the dogman and from sightings that she's had herself as well. And they're doing a study on that now as well. Alright, so there you go, some truth and knowledge here. Alright, thank y'all for watching. Okay, here's my resources for Scott Carpenter's book, and you can find his books on Amazon, and you can see the pages here, you can see the page numbers. You can pause these and read them. Alright, I shared this because it's important. It's important to Bigfoot research. Alright.